majority of us have things that we would want to run back to. I know my friend Oyemi will be very busy trying to go back to his business. It's not easy to have somebody like Tunji Oyemi join us on this series because he's a very busy man. It's actually not easy to have Dare Adebayo also join us because all these guys are busy guys, but it's a privilege joining us for this series of the issues. Israel Adekoye is also very good. He's my brother is into business now, so he's a businessman. Businessmen are not easy to meet, to pin down to a particular thing, especially when you want to talk to what the only thing they want to talk about is money. So while we're waiting for others to join, most times Nigerian wants African time because they don't believe you start an event the exact time you call it. So I would like Dare to please unmute himself so that we can actually talk to him. He can talk to us for some minutes before I read his. Thank you, Dare, for joining us. Can you please say one or two things before I introduce you to the house, please?
So I just like to say thank you for having me here this evening on your program. I hope to share insights, and I also hope to learn as well, because I believe to learn one or two things from.
Okay, thank you, thank you very much,
with people within the network of this program.
Yeah. Yeah, like I told people, like, don't get discouraged if we don't have much order because this is a recorded section, and very soon after this section we are going to be picking it up to YouTube, where I'm going to be posting it on YouTube for people who might not be able to join us at this time. So what we are saying is the topic is digitalizing Nigeria's educational system from the analog to digital. Let me tell you something, guys. I believe all of us we are well traveled. The world has left what we were used to in our fatherland. When I mean fatherland now, I'm talking about my country, your country, our country, Nigeria. We have moved from analog to digital. And like I had in my afternoon section where I was talking about customer service, the bedrock of every successful business. Leave your analog. Your brain has to be reconfigured to the digital system. Now, if your system is, if your brain is still working with the analog, then there is a problem somewhere, somehow. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking to, we're going to be talking to, we're going to be discussing here today on way forward, digitalizing our our educational system in Nigeria and making it better for everybody to kind of be able to do things. And now we'll just go straight to the point why we wait for others who might want to join us very soon. But likewise, like I told you, this is a recorded session that we all can actually leverage on maybe after the program. So let me quickly do a rundown, introduce my special guest. My guest's name is Dare Adebayo. Dare Adebayo has a keen interest in technology integration in education. His vision is to transform the educational system in Nigeria via the use of technology, and he has been taking giant steps in this direction for the past 10 years. He's a co-founder and the chief operating officer of Edverse Limited, an educational technology company focused on the automation of processes and records in schools with users in over 500 schools in states in Nigeria and Ghana. Edverse helps educators, parents, and students to do less of paperwork, thereby increasing efficiency. For this, the company has won local and international awards, including British Council Award and a global award for transforming education in Africa, which was awarded to the company in Switzerland. He has attended several conferences, exhibitions, boot camps, and and workshops on education technology and startup growth programs locally and internationally in about 9 countries. Dari is an operations executive with an excellent record of exceeding profitable goals and an issue of success leading initiatives for sales, marketing, customer relation, projects, and product management. He is an inspiring and motivational manager with first-rate interpersonal skills, with an ability and passion to build lasting relationship with colleagues, clients, partners, and vendors. Daria has a first degree in computer science and a second degree in technology management. He is happily married. That is the brief introduction of my guest. So thank you very much, Daria, for joining us. Can you please unmute yourself so that you can talk to us now, Daria? Thank you. Hello. Hello. Is Dari there? Hello. Hello, Dari. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So I had to switch my internet.
Yeah, no problem.
Realized this. I mean, the one I was using before was not stable, so
Okay.
I had to just change things.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Dari, for joining us. You can see his background is showing. His background is showing that yes, we are in the right place at the right time. That Nigeria needs better, better and sound digital presence in the world. So, Dari, I was telling you, like I was recently studying things that are happening, events as they happen in Nigeria. I discovered there's a need for us to upgrade ourselves from the local way of doing things to meet up with our international folks in the outside world. So, what can you say about this switch from analog education to digital education?
Okay. So well, I think to be frank with you, to be honest with you, the pandemic has actually exposed a lot of sectors, especially the education sector, as far as technology is concerned. And if we have to be honest, you agree with me that it's not just a thing about Nigeria. The world as a whole was not prepared for the kind of technology advancement that COVID required us for learning to continue.
Okay.
But if we take it home, you would see that a lot of persons, a lot of educators, even parents were destabilized because I can't remember any time that children have had to be at home for 6 months without going to school, without taking their books, putting in their bag, and sitting down and a teacher is teaching them. So it came as a shock to everyone, and a lot of things had to change within the twinkle of an eye. We saw a lot of teachers learning how to record their screen, to do recorded video sessions and what have you. So I think that the education system in let me say in Nigeria, since we're talking about Nigeria, has not really digitized as it were, because I haven't been in this sector for over 10 years. Sometimes you realize that school owners take and even teachers, even the parents, they take technology as they give it low priority. They prefer to have a fanciful school. Parents will be looking out for fanciful school. They are not looking out for schools who is integrating technology and what have you. So I think the level at which we've been doing analog before now was very high. But thanks to COVID, a lot of schools are really, really relying on technology now. And a lot of schools are looking to do more with technology.
But Dari, let me cut you short. Talking about the way the outside world was able to combat this within short period using technology to return their students back to school. Let me tell you something. For those of us who are in Dubai, the lockdown for students, for them to just stay at home without doing anything, was just for 3 weeks. Are you getting me? But I have contacts in Nigeria, for especially my catchment area, Ilorin, where only a few of the schools could actually integrate their students back to education within a short period of time. What do you think we can do to avoid this? Because if countries with relatively low level of technology that only relies on US and the European countries can go back to academics within a short period of time, and their students, their children, their learners are back to school. What do you think we as Nigerians can do to resurrect this dead or stagnant way of saying, okay, it has to be about chalk and the blackboard?
So I think that the government plays a major role in this. When you say that Dubai was able to continue learning online within 3 weeks. To be frank with you, there are some schools in Lagos that continue learning like the next day itself. In Lagos, Abuja, Borakoda, and what have you. I know quite a number of schools. Of course, we work with schools, so some of them, started using the platform to engage their students, and of course, other people not. Some other people had other platforms that they were using. It would be unfair to say that schools in Nigeria were not able to go online when the lockdown started. Yes, but majority. Majority could not go online because they were not prepared for this. They were not used to this. They were very used to their way of doing things. Come to class, we give you assignments inside a notebook. You submit the notebook, we mark the notebook, you take it back home. People were so used to it. So I think that if we look at it in the education sector, to be frank with you, the education sector is one of the, if not the most hit sector, by the pandemic, because I think this is actually one of the last sector to open. Schools in Lagos just opened, this Monday. And, a lot of teachers were going hungry, growing broke. A lot of people were emotionally down, psychologically down. So it was a tough one. It was a tough one on the education system. But I believe and I see that a lot of schools now are going to put in place technology to ensure that learning can continue. Communication, administration, and everything is technology driven. So I think that COVID, the lockdown, has actually pushed, like somebody said, it has pushed us like five years ahead. What the sector would have achieved in 5 years, we achieved it in 6 months. And then within the next 6 months, of course, now that schools are resuming, schools will have some income to do some of these things. Of course, you couldn't blame some schools because there was really no money to do some of these things.
That's
Even
right.
if they could free solution, they needed to provide internet, they needed to feed their teachers, it just came as a shock. So I want to believe that within the next 1 year, by the end of 2021, what we'll be seeing in terms of technology adoption and technology usage in Nigeria, in the education system, would have changed.
Okay. Now you're usually talking about recording. Some teachers started learning how to record Zoom, trying to use so many researchers deviate from their normal methodologies and teaching methodologies and stuff. Now, do you think that this is all about Zoom recording and only online giving online assignments and what do we call it now? Emails, sending emails back to the teacher? Because funny enough, do you know that funny enough, most of these proprietors or school or even our government believe that they are talking education technology in the schools only when you have physical laptops or computers without internet. Do you agree with me? They just believe, okay, we say we are talking about ICT. ICT is all about giving them laptop, giving them whiteboard and let them go. Don't you think there's a need for other things to be included to make this a success for all of our learners and to upgrade the teaching capacity of our teachers?
So absolutely, we can't just say because students have laptops or desktop computers or a computer lab that we have integrated technology.
Good.
It's a multifaceted thing, and like you said, internet is, if you're not online, you're not.
You're not alive.
I didn't want to say that, you know. I didn't want to say that.
That's just it, my brother. If you are not
Well,
online, you are not alive.
so, you know, the internet is a very powerful tool, which can be bastardized and it can be maximized. So if we maximize it very well, you find out that aside from even the students having to submit their assignments online if they are not in the physical school, how do they want to research? Do they want to go to the library? Where's the library? Where's the library? So why do I want to go to a library to be looking for a book that I can go online and actually just look for a topic and get a 15 minutes video that would, you know, tell me all I need to know about that about that topic, or maybe a one-page book or a research document that will give me information about it. So you find out that the need for internet, in fact, in our schools, you know that when you're outside of Nigeria, I've been in a country before and I did not have to buy a SIM card.
Yes.
And I was there for like 2 weeks. And I did not have to buy a SIM card because in the hotel, there's internet. In the subway, there's internet. In the office you're going to, in the restaurant, there's internet. So you can always connect. And of course, I didn't have anybody I wanted to call within that place. So I used internet to make most of my calls, you know, using all these social media communication tools. So we cannot overemphasize the need for internet. Absolutely, because even if you have a platform that works offline, you know, a lot of schools will tell me before now that can't this solution work offline? And you know, I wish I could just. Somebody even recently told me they want something that work offline, and I said, look at it. When the lockdown started, imagine if your platform was working offline. How would you have been able to engage your students remotely when the lockdown started? So I think it's about the hardware, it's about the software, and it's about internet powering these things.
Okay. So what do you think? Do you think the proprietors or the stakeholders in the educational sector feel threatened by edutech?
Not at all. I don't think anybody should think that way, because technology as it is actually helping to enhance what they do. It's not in any way a threat to anybody, even to teachers, because we strongly believe that technology will not replace teachers. It might replace the lazy ones, but the ones that are very up to their game would use technology to deliver better what they do. So what they are supposed to achieve in 10 minutes, they will achieve it in 3 minutes with technology. Because look at, okay, for instance, we have a module that helps with results computation. So let me even use the CBT as an example. So we have a CBT module where students take exam. Now, ideally, a teacher will have taken the exam on paper, marked it, and say this student has 10 over 15. This one has 8 over 15. But what our CBT does is that it marks it for the teacher. It now also tells the teacher that question 1, 15 students attempted question 1 and only 7 students got it. Question 2, 12 students attempted it, 12 students got it right. That automatically tells you that there's something wrong with question 1. Is either the students don't understand the topic that treats question 1, or they don't understand the question. Now, you know, it gives you an. So these are things that you will not see when you're using bio paper. So technology is actually enhancing the work of teachers and a school as a whole. So I really don't think anybody should feel threatened.
Okay, so how do you think we can combine these, bringing in the government and the teachers. Because let me tell you something, Dari. I tried when I first got to the UAE, I was trying to get a teaching job because of my experience in teaching. Like, you know, I've been in the teaching sphere for some time. Now I was trying to get teaching jobs, and I kept applying. But you know, one thing they kept telling me, oh, you don't have a degree in teaching. So, sorry,
You
go.
don't have what?
I don't have a degree that carries
Oh.
education. You understand that fact? So they had to, put you in your place. Chairman, you are a communication graduate. Go and look for communication. Don't come to education. Now, I think that is one of the problems we have in Nigeria educational system, where you have somebody
Exactly.
who has not obtained maybe B.Ed or NCE or diploma in education, occupying the four corners of the classroom, not getting the right methodologies to use, the right concepts to use for the teachers, for the learners rather, and other things that comes with teaching. So how do you think we can upscale this? You see, please, I've understood something over time, that if I'm going to be a teacher now, I have to go back to school and then get a master's degree in educational management or something related to education. So how do we put this together to leverage on the fact that you, as a teacher in class, you have to understand the basics? Because the moment you don't understand the basics, and the moment you don't understand that, okay, what I'm doing is in line with what the school wants, then we are getting it wrong. How do you think we can, with the support of the government and the support of the school now, how do you think we can leverage on this and put this together? How do you think this can synergize? How do you think we can synergize this problem and make it a solution and provide solutions to the problems we're facing in our educational system in Nigeria?
So, I kind of reasoned with, what you went through, and I bet that if it was over here in Nigeria, you would have gotten a job.
Definitely.
Maybe not just in any school. I mean, maybe some top schools might say, no, you don't have a B.Ed or what have you, but definitely you will have gotten a job, to
Definitely.
start with. And I think that is one of the major challenge, because um, majority of the people in the teaching line did not actually go to a college of education. Gone were the days where our mommies went to college of education. They didn't go to university. They went to college of education.
Even my
Those
dad
of them
went
that went,
to one of these schools called teaching practice schools, in Jeba, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then those that even go to university will be in department or faculty of education. But now you see that when somebody finishes school, and because maybe you served in a school and, well, I'm not gotten any other job, they just put you in a classroom. I think that, but I know that also there's what is called, I don't know the full name now, I can't remember, but like something around, there's this teachers, TRCN or something, Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria or something, I can't remember. I know they are also trying to put that straight, such that even if you have been in the teaching line, they gave them a minimum time that you need to obtain a degree in the education line, maybe like a diploma or a B.Ed or something like that. So I know they are trying to work on that. And then I think that you have to renew your certificates, So I believe the government is trying to do something on that. If that is done properly, and another thing is if teachers are compensated well. As it stands now, teachers are not being compensated well. The amount of effort, the amount of time teachers put into the teaching profession is not commensurate with what others put in, and what comes out for both ends. So I think there needs to be a standard in terms of qualification before you can be a teaching student as the main teacher, if at all, maybe an assistant teacher. And at the same time, too, teachers should be able to do well. They should be able to dress well. They should be able to look well.
that topic that's one you just raised is a topic for another day.
Yeah.
Teachers dressing and how they need to their outlook. Some teachers just dress and you'll be wondering, is this actually a teacher that is going to teach my child? I think most of the international schools are putting that into consideration now, and I think it's a big one for them.
No,
It's a big,
a lot of private schools are
yeah,
doing
doing
well.
well. Yes, yes, I'm doing
But
well. And
the truth is that you can't live beyond your means. So
mm,
if you are not earning well, you can just dress nice.
yeah, just dress, just be
There's nice and
presentable.
there's
Yeah, thank you.
yeah. So, but if teachers are well paid, then
Mm,
they can put on good clothes, put on
mm,
good colognes,
mm,
do whatever they want to do. Like be satisfied,
mm.
be happy, in their bank accounts, and
Mm. But
in
talking about
other.
dressing also talks about the mind. Most of these, sorry to use the word, most of the teachers believe because they are going to classroom to teach, that does not mean they should dress like bankers, because they believe that bankers are the ones who are supposed to dress well going to work. But I
Mm,
think that is changing now with the crop of youths we have in the educational sector trying to put things
exactly,
in place.
exactly.
So it's going to change the old system of reasoning and making it
Yeah.
a more reasonable thought. So let's go back to picturing the way teachers are upgraded. Now, teachers upgrading from whiteboard. I know, not whiteboard. Whiteboard is an upgrade from blackboard and white blackboard to whiteboard, internet, and all of that. Do you think this upgrade can be very soon?
From whiteboard to what?
From blackboard, chalk. I believe you were trained with chalk.
Mm, mm.
Chalk and blackboard, where you have to paint the blackboard on Friday before going home, so that on Sunday you can have a nice board when you are writing. That system. How do you think is going to help the educational system in a upgrade from blackboard to whiteboard?
To be frank with you, I can't remember the last time I saw a blackboard.
Okay.
Most of the schools I've visited recently is that they have an interactive board or a whiteboard and marker. I can't remember the last time. Maybe I don't think I've seen it in the last 2 years. I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe it's the schools I'm going to anyway, but
No,
I've
you
not.
you 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 are a big man now. You don't go to mushroom schools.
No, it's not about.
so, so
But a
if
lot
you
of schools, I think
mm,
a lot of schools are past that.
mm,
A lot of
mm.
schools now use the whiteboard
Okay.
to do their
So
teaching.
talking about that, how long do you think it's going to take the Nigerian educational system to upscale from this analog system to digital?
So like I said earlier on, COVID
Mm,
has really fast-tracked things.
mm,
And I believe that within the next 1 year, we'll see a lot of changes. Maybe not totally, but
mm,
definitely within the next 1 year, I believe that if we look back to 2020 and
mm,
then we're in 2021, say December,
mm,
you would agree with me that a lot of schools will have digitized their processes. A lot of schools have seen the need, they have seen the importance of technology because technology was the only saving grace we had in the last 5 months.
yes,
So
that's right.
a lot of schools have seen the importance of technology. I believe our government has seen it as well,
Mm,
because the government is now doing Zoom meetings and
yeah.
different virtual meetings. All this
Mm,
wouldn't have happened without technology. So even the government, I believe, now knows that technology is needed in the education sphere,
mm,
as well as the private schools.
mm.
So definitely, I believe that within the next 1 year, we should see a rapid adoption of technology.
Okay, so you're believing by the end of 2021, schools in Nigeria should be would have passed the stage of
A
blackboard.
good number.
A good number
A
of them
good
will
number.
have passed the stage of blackboard to the whiteboard with internet and every other thing. So let's talk about educational consultants now, which you are part of that field, educational consultancy. Like I was born into an educational sector. My dad is an was HM of a school board schools and all those things before he moved to writing and stuff. Now, how do we put these consultants are supposed to advise the schools, right? Like, this is what you should do. This, how do you, can you put one or two words for them? Like, there's a need for consultants too to upgrade their system, thereby giving room for people like you to be able to connect with these school proprietors. Because let me tell you something, Dari, I've experienced something with somebody, maybe somewhere around Ekiti. I traveled for Ekiti sometimes ago, and we were sitting, having a sit out with a proprietor. And I was trying to pitch something to him about school. Then he was telling me that, no, waste of time, Nikini. You know, what they need is a teacher to be on the blackboard. And let me tell you, Dari, this is somebody who has traveled. Like, he said, no, only understand Nigeria. Look, I'm not wondering, do we need to be myopic about ourselves as Nigerians? That because we are blacks, our children will also have black minds to do things. Because the man went to the extent of telling the proprietor that, see, you will not be surprised. WhatsApp group, no machine, no class, no have my teacher. You understand that kind of mindset, right? So how do you think we can tell these old educational consultants that, see, this thing have, like you said earlier, have their good effects, and this thing have their bad, but we have to leverage. That is why there's a teacher in class, right? To correct and see what is going on. So how do you think these guys can, how do you think we can work together so that we can give these proprietors what the schools actually need? We have
So,
5 minutes. So,
like you said,
hmm,
like you said, I think it's about a mindset and mind shift.
hmm.
So, well, I really don't think I don't know what to say, but I think that, well, everybody should just know that things um, things cannot be the way they used to
Used to
be,
be.
especially in fact 6 months ago.
Hmm, hmm,
Let me say 6 months ago, not to talk of 5 or 10 years ago.
hmm,
So, and school owners as well. I know that a lot of school owners now are hungry for knowledge.
hmm,
And that is one thing that is very important to any business owner. You must be hungry for knowledge. How can I do this thing better?
hmm, hmm,
We should always try to see how we can do it better.
hmm.
And you know, one thing COVID has taught us is never say never.
Never. Yeah, that's right.
Who could have thought that students will not come to school for 5 months and the teacher will be teaching them? If I told somebody this thing in January, they will say, Mr. Man, what do you know? How would I be quiet?
Hmm, 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 hmm.
But COVID just showed us that at least
Yeah.
I didn't go anywhere for like 6 weeks or 8 weeks. I didn't step outside of, I didn't drive my car. I didn't go anywhere. Who could
Hmm,
have told you that you won't drive out in Lagos
hmm,
for 8 weeks? You won't go anywhere. You'll be like, is it that the world wants to come to an end?
hmm,
But COVID showed us. So we just need to look at, nothing is impossible. Some
hmm,
people will say, don't give them phone, don't allow them to bring phone to class. They will do
hmm.
blah, blah. At the end of the day, some parents have to buy phone for their children to engage in the online classroom because they
That's right.
needed to use their own devices.
Hmm, hmm,
So we need to rather focus on what advantage is this thing bringing to table,
hmm,
and how can we mitigate against the sites that we don't want students to be exposed to. So I think the only thing is just that both consultants, school owners, business owners, we just need to look at what is the best I can get out of this. Even
hmm.
churches had to go online.
That's right. Everybody went online.
So everything had to go online. We didn't.
Hmm.
There was nobody had to be explaining any grammar, writing proposal. We need to go online. Everybody just
Hmm.
knew that there
This is
is
the
no
next
we
thing.
can't. That's the next thing. So
Hmm.
we just need to, and we need to think ahead of future.
Hmm.
To see, okay, in the next 5 years, this thing I'm doing will it still be valid? If it's not
Hmm.
going to be valid, then start taking steps towards
Towards it.
you know
Thank you,
like
Dari, for being a part of this section of the issues with us this evening. I really appreciate your time, and I don't want us to, because I know your phone is already buzzing and people are already disturbing the line. They want to make money. You want to make money also, so it's been it's been nice having you on this episode. I wish we could go further, but I think we have just 45 minutes, and Zoom is already notifying me that our time is almost up. Thank you very much for coming once again. I really appreciate your your support
Thank
and
you so
everything.
much. I really appreciate you for having
So,
me.
if there's anybody that wants to join that wants to meet you for business, by the time we put this thing out, I know people want to. Okay, let's see. I would want you to please tell them if they can meet you on Instagram, they can follow you on Facebook, they can follow you on LinkedIn, and there are so many of this. How do they connect with you?
Yeah, so you can reach me on Instagram, Facebook. My handle is I Adebayo Dare.
Mm.
And then can you allow me to share screen so that
Yes,
I
you
can
can.
share?
Yes, you can. You can share your screen.
Please allow. Please allow.
Mm.
So well, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram,
Mm.
and yeah, those are the three places you can get me. You can also get me on Twitter, but I'm more on
Yeah, you can share your screen
LinkedIn.
now.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so
Okay, so
okay, so
this is lovely. So you can join Gary. You can call him on +234 8096 200 326.